I've been asked to talk about poetry, birth, life and death. What's most important in life than life itself, that manifests through those stages called birth, life and death. But they're all part of one continuous circle or spiral, that it's life unfolding. And in alchemy we have that symbol with a snake with the tail and his mouth rotating in an ever-ending spin. So, what's poetry? To really know the deep and original meaning of a word, you can go to look up its etymology. And the etymology of poetry comes from the ancient Greek and the word poiesis, which means to create. If we create, we live intrinsically a poetic life. Liberation poetry are all those acts that come from our inner well, that pour in the outside world. Word and words are a powerful tool to manifest worlds. You know, if we look closely inside everything that we are surrounded by, we can see that everything is being born and dies all the time to renew itself. We have billions of cells in our body that are being born every second and are dying every second. And somehow in our society there's that big taboo of death and dying, but many souls can have really the very traumatizing memory of what some of their deaths have been. This is also to be taken in account when we have to deal with the concept of dying and death. Collective life is a big image, a very big poem, and every one and each of us may contribute with a verse. As Robin Williams in the wonderful film Dead Poets Society, I think that was the title, said to his students, you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be? For sure not what others want it to be, but what you feel you are. Getting rid of all those redundant boundaries that we have all built to protect originally our soul and our core from being hurt. But after a while we see that they have done the job and they are actually preventing us now from manifesting the core we were protecting originally with them. Poetry is much more than just literature and words, but it's how you live your life. In what way? What's the feeling you have when you live your life? And we should really broaden the sense of the word art, because lately it's been reduced to very few things that are labeled as artsy thing, like theater, pottery, painting and all those things. But the real art is the art of living. It's what Leighton called ars vivendi, the art of living. So every one of us has a very artistic side inside. So we have the art of medicine, the art of teaching, the art of healing, the art of building everything when stems from your source, from your well, from your spring, is art. And everything that is unremittingly creating and recreating itself, because life is movement, life is continuous creation, which involves the concept of death. That is poetry, that is poiesis, that is creation. And when there's something that needs to die and we don't let it die, whether it is a relationship, a habit we have, a belief, the new birth that's pushing and knocking to be born cannot. So the art of letting go permits and allows us to witness new births. So if we feel happy, content, satisfied and fulfilled, everything is good. And it is how it should be. But if we have some resistance, if we do not feel quite happy in a life that is giving us everything to be happy actually, even though that very time in our world it's challenging, I'm not denying that. So if we do not feel thriving and happy, we might want to look at where we are putting some resistance and why, without condemning ourselves. But neutral introspection is a wonderful tool to give ourselves the life we would like to have. Maybe we don't even imagine that we would like to have that life, because when you start to step onto that path of rediscovering life as it meant to be in a natural, happy way, we discover also something that we didn't remember or we didn't know we had. There are many ways to do the introspection exercise, if we want to call it that way. One is to do it before sleeping, and you start your day again with your mind, and you analyze your thoughts, your actions, your feelings, and you just look at them. And looking at them from the outside perspective gives you a more objective outlook of what your day have been. And you can then discover what your feelings have been throughout the day, if you actually acted or if you reacted to certain situations, and if you would have liked to act differently, if you could have been more centered and not carried away by the emotions of the moment. And another way to do the introspection exercise is to think about your own principle, ideals and values, and then see if you are living according to them and in what way you are manifesting them. And if you do that, you might see that sometimes we let our spirit takes the control of our life in sometimes too powerful and detached from the earth way. If you just do the exercise, you will figure out things by yourself, which is much better than me telling it to you, because it's your own experience that leads you in your own discovery. Spirit is spirit and it's holy, definitely. But spirit has always to remember to kiss the earth first, so to know how to act in an earthly plane. Because the earth, our Mother Earth, is where we're being hosted now, is where our feet walk every day, is where we take our nourishment from. And earth also means all the pace that we adopt as spirit soul essences when we incarnate in this human earthly plane. What's more beautiful than nature? What's more beautiful than nature itself? Maybe human beings being humane and creative and poetic, working and co-creating with nature. I think that's like a burst of life, cooperation, connection is what makes you feel part of the world with many others creatures. We are always surrounded by creatures. And if you ever should feel alone, remember that maybe you're alone, but we are all together in this experience. So to conclude this video, what I can say is give birth to your real self. Get rid of everything that prevents you from doing that, and re-find yourself connected with the flow and circle of life. This has been and is Migdal, the path to the self and of the self. See you soon, my dear beautiful souls. Thank you to have listened to me and to have been with me and with us. See you soon. Goodbye. Take care.